Coming up on NTC News, it's been 11 years since the shooting at NIU. A look at how the school is remembering the lives lost.
And how is DeKalb handling those pesky potholes? An update on the tricky road conditions you may be facing.
Plus, how one student's setback will now benefit all Huskies going forward. NTC News starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Hello, I'm Crystal Termini. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Corey Price. It's our first newscast of the semester this Thursday, February 14th.
Today marks the 12-year anniversary since the Valentine's Day shooting here at NIU. There are many events taking place on campus to remember those who were lost. At 3:06 p.m., the bells will toll on campus to honor the lives lost 11 years ago today. It was a day many at this university will never forget, when a student opened fire during class at Cole Hall. That student, 27-year-old Steven Kazmiracek, killed 5 students and injured 17 others before killing himself. The victims included 19-year-old Ryan Mace of Carpentersville, 32-year-old Julianne Gahant of Mendota, 20-year-old Catalina Garcia of Cicero, 20-year-old Gail Dubowski of Carroll Stream, and 20-year-old Dan Parmenter of Elmhurst. The Forward Together Forward Memorial outside Cole Hall stands as a reminder of that fateful day. NIU has awarded 5 students with the Forward Together Forward scholarships for 2019. These scholarships are awarded to students who excel in the classroom, demonstrate leadership abilities in service of others, and are highly engaged on campus. The scholarship amounts this year are $5,000 each.
The NIU Student Association is reacting to a drop in student enrollment. The Northern Star reports the association is creating an ad hoc finance committee. The group will consider finance policies as the SA faces a lower budget. The meeting was held Monday in the Campus Life building. Senate Speaker Tristan Martin told the association to plan out its budget cautiously.
In the meantime, the SA will be holding elections next month. Ballots will be going out on March 6th. A candidates debate will be held on March 25th, and the election itself will be held until 4:30 p.m. on March 26th.
The results of the National Survey of Student Engagement showed that students value their interactions with faculty. Students credit NIU staff with encouraging, challenging, and supporting them toward success. Students want to see further growth in encouraging diverse perspectives. An undergraduate student introduced an exhibit called Creating Environments That Matter as part of an effort to highlight the survey results. The exhibit focuses on NIU student engagement from the 1900s until now.
You might have noticed that your commute has been pretty bumpy lately. Potholes have been propping up all over the city because of the cold and icy weather conditions. DeKalb officials we spoke to this morning say that they are fixing as many potholes as they can in a short period of time. They say the challenge is by the time they repair some, the plows rake up the patch and they're back to square one.
And don't be surprised if water in some buildings look discolored. There was a water main break near the north entrance of the Founders Library, and although this was an isolated incident, it did have a temporary effect on the library and the academic advising building. According to the university, the buildings may experience discolored water for a short period of time as they are working to make all repairs.
Well, the weather obviously had a lot to do with the water main breaks and potholes.
But it's unusually mild today. NTC's Claudia Alec has more on what some would say is almost spring-like weather right now. Claudia?
Well, guys, it definitely has been warmer today. I'm going to have more on your warm temperatures, how long they're going to last, as well as your full weekend forecast. Back to you guys.
In her first year at NIU, one student interviewed for a professional business fraternity, but she was not as prepared as she would thought.
Our very own Isai Sanchez has more on how this young lady is helping other Huskies dress for success.
As a freshman, Emma Stetner saw herself missing something: business clothes.
I was in need of professional clothing and I didn't have any. So I thought it'd be a really great idea for there to be something in the College of Business where students can go and get discounted business professional wear for whenever they need it.
Stetner brought the idea to a board meeting and caught the attention of Courtney Gibson, who would later become her future business partner.
She brought up the idea at a Dean Student Advisory Board meeting, And immediately I was like, oh, that's an amazing idea. I want to help you with this.
Together, they created Barcima's Closet, a place where all students have access to professional clothing at a reasonable price. From suits to ties, they have everything students need, with the most expensive item being only $25. And this isn't some dinky little store either. Stettner says they've received more than 500 items in donations. The two never expected this store to grow so much.
First, this project was just going to be a pop-up shop downstairs in the Barcima atrium. And then overnight, honestly, like the past 2 weeks, it just kind of blew up.
If this succeeds, both co-founders will look to expand the project, all to help their fellow Huskies.
I can see every day that students, are struggling to make ends meet sometimes and need a easier and more affordable option for the clothing that they need to be successful.
For Stettner and Gibson, Barcima's Closet is a means for students to dress for success. For NTC News, I'm Isai Sanchez.
Stettner says they are always taking donations.
If you'd like to help out, donations can be taken to the Advancement Office in Barcima Hall, room 145. After the break, there might be more trouble in the White House. We have the details and other developments coming up.
We'll also give you an inside look at a local restaurant serving up a plate full of goodness. Stay with us.
We have breaking news that Trump is set to declare a national emergency for the border wall.
And news in the Trump-Russian investigation is making headlines today, and luckily Victor Away has the scoop in this week's edition of Political Pit Stop.
Thanks, guys. There's always much to talk about in politics, and this week is no different. Let's take a look at what's making headlines all the way in Washington. There's news this morning that former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe is breaking his silence after being fired by the president in 2017. In an interview with 60 Minutes, McCabe disclosed why he ordered an investigation into President Trump. McCabe recalls how he felt after Trump won the election.
I was speaking to the man who had just run for the presidency and won the election for the presidency, and who might have done so with the aid of the government of Russia, our most formidable adversary on the world stage. And that was something that troubled me greatly.
You can catch the full 60 Minutes interview on Sunday on CBS at 7. And earlier this week, it was discovered that President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, allegedly lied about the matters in the ongoing Russian investigation, and that has led to the end of his plea deal. A federal judge voided Manafort's deal, saying that he intentionally lied multiple times to the special counsel, the FBI, and the grand jury. The reported lies included his communication with Russian operatives prior to the 2016 election. Manafort is one of 37 people already indicted in the ongoing probe. With the fear of another government shutdown looming, congressional leaders are rushing to make a deal to secure the southern border. The outline deal hopes to end the over a month-long standoff between Congress and the president. Although he has not formally stated that he will approve the bill, the president did show signs of making an agreement in the press briefing on Wednesday. stating that he does not want to see another shutdown, that it's a terrible thing, and that a lot of good points were made during the last shutdown. Senators are expected to vote on the bill first later today, and the president should follow. Looking forward to 2020, there are a plethora of Democratic candidates that have announced their intention to run, and not one on the Republican side. Notably has been the amount of female candidates already throwing their hats into the race, the most recent being Senators Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar. Senator Klobuchar may prove to be a tough competitor if her formal announcement is any indication of how she plans to fight.
For a moment, let's stop seeing those obstacles as obstacles on our path. Did we view the snow as an obstacle? No, we did not. Let's see those obstacles as our path.
Senator Bernie Sanders and former Vice President Joe Biden have not made official statements on if they are running or not. And with no clear sign of a bid by these predetermined frontrunners, this seems to be anyone's game. We'll be here every step of the way tracking what could be one of the most interesting election cycles in history. That's all I have for now, but let's see what Evan Johnson has over in dollars and cents.
Thanks, Victor. The business world has made many positive advances this week, so let's get right to it. No plans have been set after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to advance and regulate artificial intelligence. The order did not set aside funds for AI research and development. Everything from consumer products and healthcare to warfare should be benefited from the advancement. The order is aimed to better educate workers in the AI field and improve the data needed to build new systems. According to a senior administration official, the White House will increase efforts to educate American workers in a newer way of work. Billionaire and Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is accusing the publisher of the National Enquirer, David Pecker, of blackmail. It began when the Enquirer said that it should publish racy text messages from Bezos' affair in January. Bezos has hired investigators to look into the source of the leaks into his personal life. Earlier this week, Bezos published a long post on Medium accusing the National Enquirer of blackmail, claiming that it had threatened to make private photographs of him public unless he agreed to drop his dispute with the Enquirer. Ford Motor Company will invest $1 billion in its Chicago manufacturing plants, a move that will result in 500 additional jobs. With new jobs comes new opportunity. Ford is building a new body shop and paint shop at the assembly plants and plans to make more change in the final assembly area. The company also plans to install a new manufacturing technology with the addition of 3D printing tools and robots. JCPenney is stepping out of the appliance business, making the first major change since hiring a new CEO after struggling to stay alive. The new CEO announced that JCPenney will focus on customer expectations while improving their financial performance. The company will also focus on improving product quality and store cleanliness once the new plan kicks off. JCPenney said it will provide more details about its decision to get out of the home appliance business when it reports earnings at the end of the month. And that's it for this week's segments of Dollars and Cents. Now back to the desk.
NIU is searching for an ethics and compliance officer. This person manages the office responsible for creating and coordinating an ethics and compliance program. The position provides oversight to policy curation and administrative investigations. They report directly to the president of the university. Qualified candidates can apply through NIU's website.
NIU officials are taking a closer look at how they utilize space. Facilities managers are conducting a two-part survey across campus. The first part will update building records. The second part will find out where changes are needed. The information found in the surveys will help when evaluating future space needs and inform future investments. You can find more information by visiting the Facilities Management and Campus Services website.
We're starting a new segment this semester. It's called Inside the 815, and every other week, I'm going to follow the Husky Trail that will take you to a hot spot to eat in DeKalb. This week's Husky Trail leads us to Egg Haven at 2562 Sycamore Road, where I left with a plates full of food and a belly full of love. What up, everybody? I'm here at Egg Haven for the first episode of Inside the 815. I'm gonna talk to one of the owners, a couple customers to show you guys why I want this one of the hottest breakfast and lunch spots in DeKalb. As the sign says, everybody likes DeKalb eggs, and we're gonna see why. Come on, let's go.
So we have our Midwestern frittata. and our buttermilk pancakes. This Midwestern frittata, it's with 5 eggs is what we use, fresh spinach, thick cut bacon, there's a little bit of dollop of sour cream, and then we also have 2 types of cheeses on there. What's unique about Egg Haven is that we're able to source our eggs locally, which means they're not institutionalized beforehand, there's no radiation. Just farm fresh eggs the way they were supposed to be. And different types of oranges that you can buy. The type that you buy at the grocery store is not the type that we serve here. It's a Valencia. It's designed just for juicing. It's a premium orange and accept no substitute.
100% orange juice?
Please.
Woo, that's good. What keeps bringing you back? What makes this place special to you?
Definitely a fan of the food, for sure. Locally owned, that's great. Pete, the owner, is amazing. Really good, top-notch guy, and he puts out a really good, menu, good food. Just really like it here.
What do you have here?
Right, so we have one of our signature lunch dishes. This is our apple Gouda melt. We start off with some caramelized apples. They're griddled. Nice Italian bread that's pressed on their Italian press. Ham off the bone that we cook in-house. A little bit of turkey is in there, a cranberry sauce relish, and then our homemade potato chips and some potato chips.
How do you say that you give back to the NIU community, to the students there?
The NIU community, we give back twofold. We give back on an academic front. We always support all the local chapters, be it law, math, or any of the academias. And then we also sponsor the sports as much as we can, to the extent that we can.
Really sweet, really rich flavor. You can taste it. The apples really cook you at first. The caramelized apples really cook you. This was amazing, and the lunch was exquisite. The fresh ingredients really pop out at you, and it makes for a wonderful flavor. Egg Haven is really community oriented and involved, and the customers absolutely love it. It is definitely 1000% a place I recommend going to if you're ever in the DeKalb area. Now, if you have any suggestions or recommendations on places that we should go next, just let us know. I'm out. Happy eating, everybody. Ooh, I'm still full from all the food that they gave me. The serving size portions are absolutely incredible. Egg Haven is about to celebrate its 16th year anniversary. They're available for both catering and banquets.
It's like a Valentine's Day gift. There is the kind of warm weather outside that most people love, including me.
NTC's Claudia Leck has more on what we can expect for the weekend. We fear the Love Fest may be ending too. Right, Claudia?
Well, guys, it looks like Mother Nature did bring us some love just in time for Valentine's Day this year. Your temperature right now is lingering at the 40-degree mark at 39 degrees, and the high today is set for 42. However, these temperatures are temporary. If we take a look at what's going on outside, we can see it's pretty dry right now. There are some snow pockets to the north of us, but the good news is we will stay dry and they won't be affecting us. However, temperature-wise, we can see off to the northwest this cool air mass that will tiptoe its way toward us this evening, pushing these warm temperatures out. We could see our temperatures plummet with a low in the single digits tonight at 7 degrees. The good news is, again, like I said, it will stay dry. You'll notice these cool temperatures stick around to your Friday with noticeably lower temperatures, your high flirting with the 20 degrees at 19 degrees. However, your low will drop down to the single digits once again at 9 degrees. Into Saturday, it will be a little with your high at 29. However, we will expect a chance of snow showers into the evening, starting right after midnight, and that chance will be 60%. They'll continue into your Sunday, where you'll see some accumulation will be possible, just around an inch or so, and that chance is at 60% right now. If we take a look at your work week, we'll see the snow showers clear out on Monday with those temperatures hovering around the upper 30-degree mark, upper 20-degree mark, sorry, and another chance of snow showers into your Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. That's it for weather. Back to you.
After the break, the men and women's basketball team both took an L this week. We'll recap their games.
Plus, we'll introduce you to a real-life NIU Titan. All this and more after the break.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org. You made your house a reality. homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
A student here at NIU is taking his talents to the big screen. NIU junior Covenant Falana will be featured on the Titan Games on NBC tonight. Just 7 years ago, the business major wasn't even in the United States, but now he has completely changed his image and lifestyle. Covenant loved his time in LA with NBC and would not change a thing about his experience.
I got to meet The Rock, so that's amazing. There were people everywhere. It was like a whole built-out stadium, and there's like everything is just larger than life. You can see like fire and like booms and like lights everywhere.
Covenant will showcase his athletic skills tonight in his debut on the Titan Games. He could not share his results, but he did say it was the most amazing time of his life. Now time for a look at sports news.
From the basketball court to the football field, this has been an interesting week for Husky athletics.
Let's hear what Isai Sanchez has for us in sports.
Yes, there is a lot to cover, so let's get this thing going. We start on the hardwood where the women's basketball team faced off against the Miami Redhawks. So how did they fare exactly? Well, they got annihilated. The team scored a season-low 45 points, breaking their 3-win streak. They were held to 1 for 12 from the three-point line. Senior Michaela Voigt led the Huskies with 9 points and added 2 rebounds and a steal. The basketball team will look to rebound this Saturday against Toledo. Now, heading on over to the men's basketball, they played a tough game in Kalamazoo Tuesday night against the Western Michigan Broncos that unfortunately also ended in a loss. The Huskies played a good game though. Trailing by 13 with only 4 minutes to go, they rallied back and came up short, losing the game 76-74. 4 players scored double figures for the men's team, who are led by junior guard Eugene German with 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Another bright spot was senior Dante Thorpe with 14 points for the team. The Huskies take on Bowling Green in DeKalb on Saturday for the Cram the Convo game. Tip-off is set for 3:30. The gymnastics team is absolutely rolling right now. Coming off a straight sweep at the NIU quad meet, the ladies went into Southeast Missouri and dominated again. The Huskies posted the second best score for the team all season with a 194.750. The ladies will continue the road trip Sunday when they head to Muncie, Indiana for a matchup with MAC opponent Ball State. And speaking of hot streaks, a certain wrestler continues to dominate his opponents. NTC reporter Martin Sotelo visits the team to see what has been the key to his success.
Good job.
NIU wrestler Britt Wilson is quickly making a name for himself. After leading the team with 23 wins last season as a true freshman, he continues his rise to the top. Wilson's current record of 20 wins and 4 losses has been nothing short of impressive. He was recently awarded with MAC Wrestler of the Week honors and is ranked as the 16th best grappler at 174 pounds. Wilson believes his aggressive mindset is what has been a key to his success.
I'm not going out there to win 1-point matches or 2-point matches. I want to go out there and I want to dominate my opponent and just score as much as I can And that's always my mindset out there, just, you know, being a dog and just staying on them.
Britt's willingness to be the aggressor on the mat is something he's practiced from an early age. Wilson attended Mexico High School in Missouri, where he holds the record for the most wins in school history and won back-to-back state championships in 2016-17. And after finding a way to carry that momentum to NIU, head coach Ryan Ludwig sees a unique quality in Britt unlike any other.
Britt's got a very deep tank, and you know, he knows that he's got to push the pace. He knows that, you know, he wants to put his conditioning to the test and get out there and make the match at a good high pace in that first period, so that by the time the second and third rolls around, his competitors and his competition are really testing themselves in terms of their conditioning.
But even with his early success, Britt continues to improve as a wrestler, and it shows in his preparation. He constantly seeks advice from his coaches and teammates while not letting any extra attention get to his head.
I try not to get too cocky. I try to, you know, remember like how I got here, and, you know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, remember where you're from, your roots, and what got you here.
Britt's humble nature, attacking mentality, and willingness to improve leave him as this week's leader of the pack. For NTC News, I'm Marcel Tello.
Wilson and the wrestling team will be back in action tomorrow when they travel to Kent State University. And this weekend was an impressive showing for the men's tennis team. They defeated Eastern Illinois and Wright State at home on Saturday in convincing fashion. The Huskies only dropped one set all day, sweeping their opponents 7-0. This momentum carried into Sunday as well, as they beat St. Francis 7-0, lucky number 7. The Huskies have a week off, but will take a 6-match win streak into play next weekend when they take on Butler. And staying on the court, the women's tennis team has not seen the same success. After winning in convincing fashion against Green Bay, the Huskies dropped 2 consecutive matches to Briley University and the University of North Dakota. The ladies will look to turn the tide Saturday in the Windy City as they take on Chicago State. And the softball team got off to a solid start this season after taking 3 of their 5 matches at the Lion Classic 1. The Huskies lost the first game against San Jose State, but managed to win 3 of the next 4, including a 2-1 victory over Nicholls State University. The team went yard all weekend with senior outfielder Jenny Van Geertree hitting 3 home runs of her own. Next up for the Huskies is a trip to San Diego this Friday when they face UC Santa Barbara at the 29th annual Campbell Cartier Classic. And it may not look like it outside, but baseball season is right around the corner for NIU, with opening day coming Friday night against Cal Baptist in warm Riverside, California. The team finished 20-36 last season, a 3-win improvement from 2017, in case you're wondering. The team will have a chance at 4 wins to start the season, with a game Friday night, a Saturday doubleheader, and the final game of the series Sunday afternoon. Well, that'll be it for NTC Sports. For more updates, tune in tomorrow for Top Shelf Sports. Let's send it on back to the desk.
There may be a $1 million Powerball winner sitting next to you in class. A winning ticket was sold at Schnucks in DeKalb. The winner matched all 5 numbers on Saturday night's drawing. The store will get a $10,000 bonus for selling the winning ticket.
And that's it for today's show. NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
I'm Crystal Termini. Have a great afternoon, everyone.